Can you feel it? Oh, it's happening. Warriors. My brothers and sisters, I'm Rosario, and this is another Divine Ripple. Today, I'm going to explain how I know that you are loved unconditionally, and how I know in my heart that God loves us. In order to do that, I'm going to tell a story, and we're going to go deep. Mind you, this is going to make you feel something. So if you choose to take this journey with me, prepare yourself. But I promise, at the other end of this, you're going to see how I transmutate darkness into light. In order to demonstrate this, I'm going to have to go deep into perhaps the darkest moment of my life. And the greatest revelation that I ever went through. It brings peace to my heart. In 2001, my ex-wife and I, we had our first child was born. Shortly after the child was born, one of the nurses informed me, and we knew that this could have been a possibility, but I never once thought that it was going to happen to us. Our child, Angelo, was born with Down syndrome. And upon hearing this news, I was really taken back. I had to go through a process of mourning the life, the child that I thought I was going to have, that I envisioned. But going through all the stages of loss, I did eventually. And in the next several weeks, come to a beautiful acceptance. The reality is not everything is good or bad. Things just are. And I came to accept it. Angela was a pretty healthy child, born with a congenital heart defect like most Down syndrome babies are born with, but it didn't really affect his health much. He did come down with a virus, stomach virus, which brought him into the hospital for at least 5 days, connected to an IV, and it was heartbreaking to see it. But he did pull through and took him back home. Several months later, Angela was about 3 months old. Elizabeth, my ex-wife, took our baby down to visit her mom in Savannah, Georgia. I stayed behind because I had to work, and was working at a mortgage bank at the time, and I had several families depending on me to close on their mortgage so they can buy their house. 3 days into Elizabeth's trip, I received a call at work. It was Elizabeth, and she was I could barely understand what she was saying. But she was frantic, and she obviously had been crying, and all I could make out is, Angela's in the hospital. Get down here quickly. I asked her to put the doctor on the phone, tell me what was going on. I said, "Doctor, tell me straight what's happening. What's going on with my baby?" The doctor says to me that he was going through sepsis, bacterial infection in his blood that had something to do with the stomach virus, a buildup of bacteria in his blood. And he said, he's not going to make it through the night. You should get down here. As you can imagine, this hit me like a ton of bricks, and the darkness closed in, and the process that ensued of trying to get down to Savannah, Georgia from New York, the unbelievable amount of traffic getting to the airport, dealing with a very callous airport staff trying to fly on standby, getting finally to Savannah, Georgia in the middle of the night with an epic thunderstorm, lightning, water, rain, sideways. It was just darkness, not only within me, fearing having to go through all this trials and tribulation, travel down to Savannah, Georgia to watch my baby die. I finally do get to the hospital, and in the hospital room, there's Angelo on a table, his mom, her mom, Angelo's grandmother, and the doctor in the room. The doctor has his head down, Elizabeth and her mom sobbing, Angelo, tubes connected to him, listless, not moving at all, very much. The doctor walks up to me and he says in a very regretful, sad voice, I don't know what else to do. We did everything and can't stop the bleeding. He doesn't have long. Without even thinking about it, the words just rolled out of my mouth, and I grabbed Elizabeth's hands and said, tell him it's okay to let go. Tell him we love him and that it's okay. Elizabeth picked him up, his listless body, and with tears in her eyes, crying, she says, it's okay, Angelo. Go be with Daddy. Go be with your father and with Daddy. Elizabeth's father passed away when she was young, when she was 12 years old. We all got a chance to say goodbye and to tell him it's okay to let go. Angelo takes one last breath, and with a little baby sigh, we knew that he was gone. My heart was broken. At that moment, the ground opened up. My mind was just, you can imagine, this is the most horrible thing that can happen to anybody. To a parent, to lose a child. This was the darkest moment of my life. The next day, I was in Savannah, Georgia. Beautiful, beautiful Skidaway Island. It's like an island paradise, and the clouds had broken. The sun was out. And it was what I can remember the most glorious day, the weather, and it seemed to me like the heavens were smiling down on me because their Angelo was back together with them. And I felt like it was Angelo himself giving me a sign telling me that he was okay. Now I tell you this story because many years afterwards, after having to be the rock for my wife, for her mother, for my family, having lived through all of this, and eventually Elizabeth and I did have 2 more miracles, Dominic and Sophia. We had 2 other children. And I tell them all the time that they are miracles in my life. But many years later, I watched a video of a man who had gone through a very similar experience, who helped for me to come to this realization, or this revelation, why, or what it was that I needed to learn or get from this whole experience. And what came through was this, that while I was sitting in that hospital room watching my baby die and watching my wife watch her son die and her mother watching her grandchild die, I would have done anything in my power to save him. As a man, as a father, I would have done anything. And what that video taught me was this, that God also had to sit and watch his only son die. And he's God. He could have done something, but he didn't. And he didn't because he loves us so much that he bared the pain of watching his son die in order to save us all. And this revelation brought some peace to my heart because I knew that Angelo's life had meaning and purpose. And for the first time, I had something I never had before. I had empathy for my Creator, peace in my heart, purpose to my life. Warriors, my brothers and sisters. I share this story with you because I wanted to give you an example of my personal life. Raw, authentic, unedited, of how in the darkest time of my life I was able, with the grace of God, to transmute this darkness into light. So, warriors, this is my divine ripple to you. That even in the darkest moments, there's something for us to learn, to grow, to go through, that becomes a gift. So for those of you that have losses, had your heart broken, lost people, lost jobs, going through illness, just heartbreaking situations, realize this, that within all of that pain and challenge that you go through, that there is a gift. And that gift is something that you have to give others. To warriors, light brothers and sisters. I'm Rosario, and this is my divine ripple. And you know how I feel. I mean, I don't ever want you to forget how powerful you are. How limitless what you do and say is. And how everything matters, even if it doesn't seem like it at the time. So follow your heart. Be the ripple of change that you want to see in the world. Thank you for making it all the way to the end here with me. Hope you got something of it of value. Till next time, all my love.